Oh, hi! Oh, hi! Hello! It
Hi.
was not 10 years later.
Hi.
It wasn't 10 years later. That was like 30 seconds. Like
It was
at
a little connection
most.
delay. Look where I'm at. Look where I'm at.
You're in space?
I'm in space.
I mean, it looks like it could be like a nice picture from Arizona or something.
No, I'm in space. I
Huh?
beat Elon.
You're hanging out with Elon?
Yeah.
Whoa! From Japan to space. Scribs, you apparently missed the last few episodes because he's been underwater. And then he was inside of a frog.
An alien.
Oh, yeah, inside of an
I was
alien.
inside an alien.
All right.
So how'd the day off go today, Big?
Day off today?
Yeah, you didn't work today.
Oh, day off from work. It was nice. It was fun. We actually had a really good day with the stream. We had at least 600 follows, and then almost 10 million sparks today. So that was insane. Welcome to Mixcast episode 36, people. We've got a giveaway for you guys, so make sure you hang out. You'll get yourself the code of the day, so that way you can get yourself some bonus points in winning a year of Xbox Live for free. In the meantime, we have a bunch of topics, we have two big topics for you guys. We talk about PAX South and streamer and gamer mental health. Super cool.
Easy on the language, please.
Oh, they fixed your account? No way. Cool. All right, so let's start it off. Let's start it off with some PAX South. PAX South. Who knows what PAX South, or who doesn't know what PAX South is? Do any of you not know what PAX South is? You don't know what PAX South is? Okay. You don't know what PAX is in general, Mango?
Well, this one's generally in South San Antonio. It's generally down there. I don't know if it's off the side of San Antonio or
no. It's in the middle of downtown San Antonio. It's on Riverwalk.
It's on It's in San Antonio then. Okay, yeah. That's how much I know.
Downtown San Antonio on Riverwalk.
On the Riverwalk? How lucky are you guys?
Have you been to San Antonio Riverwalk?
Yeah, I did a fiber optic cable install right through that area many years ago.
They have there's a convention center like right outside of Riverwalk, so
I guess there is now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
but it's a beautiful area.
That's where it is.
Nobody that's ever been is going to love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think PAX South has always been there. There was an amphibian con there in the 40s. That's a very interesting fact. Why specifically do you know that about the 40s, that there was an amphibian con? That's when Bad Frog went.
So that's how it's gonna go tonight. I gotcha.
Oh my god, I'm dead.
I need tissue paper. I'm gonna cry.
PAX is Penny Arcade Expo. It's one of the larger video game conventions around the world. It's here in the United States, and we have 3 of them. We have PAX West, which is here in Seattle, PAX East, which is in Boston, and PAX South, which is in San Antonio. There's also PAX Unplugged, which was new this year, maybe 2 years ago. I don't remember. But we have PAX South is next week, actually. It's actually really cool. For those who don't know PAX, and PAX Australia, but that's not in the United States. It's in Australia. For those who don't know PAX, it's really cool. You get to meet game developers and play games before they come out. It's really, really cool. PAX South is the smallest and the newest one of the United States versions. Big games like Halo, Gears of War, Call of Duty, anything from Ubisoft and EA and all these giant companies, as well as small indies, such as games from Tiny Build and so many others. Like there's hundreds of games. You get to play the games before they come out. Like these are games that are not out yet. And it's really, really, really neat. Yeah. So PAX South is coming up next week. I leave for Monday, but it doesn't start until Friday of next week. I'm going on behalf of Tiny Build and Mixer. And I have a bunch of cool stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about yet. But you'll see a bunch of it starting Friday.
So you can just go ahead and talk about it anyway.
No, we're not talking about it at all.
Man, I can't get nothing out of you.
Yeah. But it's there's no PAX Virginia. No. There's no PAX Virginia. But yeah. It's Planet of the Frogs. So yeah, San Antonio, Texas. It's 3 days long, Friday through Saturday. It's really cheap to go too. PAX South is for PAX South it's $80, and yeah, it's really neat, really neat. Yeah, trying to think if there's any other really cool things to talk about. I mean, I can show you some. PAX Australia is kind of irrelevant. I'm trying to convince. I want to convince Tiny Build. Oh my god, I had to sneeze.
Of course you do. You just want to go across the pond.
I do want to go to Australia, but I'm trying to convince Tiny Build to go because Australia is actually one of our biggest selling markets. Australia loves indie games. It's crazy. But yeah, let me see if I can find some cool info about PAX South.
All right, while you're looking at that, instead of me trying to type one-handed, RGB, there's a program that's called Xplam, is what I use. And it basically uses software to make a fake blue screen. And there's a place I can insert pictures behind me however I want. It's just as simple as no background.
If he changes it
original
to
background.
Yeah, if he changes it to green, it'll destroy the background too. So.
And then I replace the program. XSplit.
XSplit. Yeah.
Split.
Yeah.
Thanks, Muffin.
So here, if for those who haven't seen PAX, PAX, this is what it looks like from the inside. So it's just tons and tons of people. Rooster Teeth goes. Here's Xbox booth. These are all just games. So this is Halo Wars 2 before it came out. When Xbox always brings their design lab controllers. And this is only one portion of it. So yeah, Newegg is there, PlayStation is there, Twitch is here. I think this is Mixer was there last year, so Mixer would have been here. Oris, which is a gaming company, Alienware, Lawbreakers. Oh man, so this is old. I think this must be like 2016 or 17. Because Lawbreakers doesn't even exist anymore. Adult Swim games, and it's huge. This convention center is huge. There's so much stuff. There's so much stuff. I'm not going there within the first 10 years. I'd die. Wait, what do you mean? Within the first 10 years? Do an infinity background? No,
you know that one where you show your screen, it shows your screen, it shows your screen, and shows.
Oh. But yeah. Let me see if PAX South has any other cool photos. This is like part of their indie section. Yeah, tons of small games that you can go play. All the games are there for you to play. You can just jump in a line, or if there's no one playing, you just jump in, play, enjoy. Yeah, there's tons of people. And being that PAX South is small, it's actually really good because there's a lot more availability for you to be able to see things that, you know, you might not be able to see at PAX West because PAX West is huge. Yeah. I'm trying to think. And then they also sell exclusive.
It's not as popular, Dr. Rage.
Why is PAX South so small? It's because it's newer. So PAX South started with PAX Prime. PAX Prime is what's now called PAX West. PAX Prime is, I think, 15 years now. And PAX South, I think, is only 5 or 6 years. Yeah. I went to the first PAX South, and it was honestly terrible. It was really, really bad. And it just takes time for them to build up. And yeah, there's lots of cosplayers and stuff too. People cosplay at PAX. So if you're into cosplaying, there's tons of stuff like that there. And I'll see if I can find more cool photos for you guys. To show for PAX. So
no more Fortnite. He's not playing more Fortnite.
Nope. We are doing Mixcast. I wonder if they actually have South.PAX site. Because it's regional and studios don't want to waste money. That's also true. Well, to some extent. Wasting money is dependent on how many... If people have stuff to announce and the amount of people going to the convention. So because PAX South is starting to get bigger, you're starting to see bigger companies go. But it's all dependent. So, dependent on features. Such as, like, how many people are going. There's also tournaments. There's tournaments. There's free play. There's tabletop gameplay. There's VR free play. There's giveaways. There's raffles. You can collect pins. Let's see. They also bring in bands to do concerts. There's a thing called Omegathon, which I always encourage people to do. Omegathon is really cool. Omegathon is 20 people go to PAX, and the person who wins, they play 5 games. They play 5 games over the course of 3 days. Whoever wins in the end, like, it's, you know, half the people get knocked out in the first round and then so on and so forth, right? Whoever wins goes to any PAX they want, all expenses paid. They pay for everything. Your hotel, your food, shopping money, tickets, airplane, everything. Do you think Mixer will live cast PAX South? I am not allowed to speak about what I know about what Mixer is doing at PAX South. Bad Frog can say whether he thinks Mixer will live cast at PAX South. I am not allowed to say anything.
Yes, I believe so.
Because I have insider knowledge, I'm not allowed to say anything. But being that Bad Frog is not a partner and does not work for Mixer, he has
no affiliation with Mixer.
Yeah, he has free range to say anything he wants. I am just not allowed to. Muffin is allowed to say things. So I cannot say anything on what Mixer is doing because they want to keep it a surprise and go from there. I wish they had the map. They don't have the map or anything yet, so oh well. They don't have last year's map either. So yeah, if you guys have any PAX questions, it's not on the website. I can't find it. What is all expenses? What was this all expenses paid trip? If you buy a PAX ticket, it's going to ask you, do you want a chance to be part of Omegathon? You always press yes. I don't care if you don't want to. You press yes. You press yes. Yeah, but the PAX app is on my phone. I can't display that on here. And you get into a competition to play 5 video games that are extremely random. Like the first year, it was like it started with, or the final competition was Pong. like the last game, the 1v1 to see who won it, it was Pong.
I would have had the win on that one.
And then I think year 2 was Halo 3. So, yeah, it was, it's really cool. It's really cool. But yeah, it's super random games. They find like games that you've never heard of off of like a store in Japan. And it's just whoever wins. It's really, really cool. They've done Mario games and a whole bunch of stuff, but it's usually unheard of games or very small games. They've done speedrunners, I believe. So, let's see. Master DPM is ready for PAX. Do you have everything all set? Are you good to go? They are giant idiots. What? Is that just video games in the competition? For a megathon? Yeah, it's always video games. You compete in 5 video games. Because you can look it up. Omegathon game list.
Holy cow. Oh, I looked at the wrong screen.
The very first Omegathon was in PAX 2004. Let's see. I don't actually know what this is. Oh, it is. Oh, well, hold on. This might just be the first one. Actually, Halo Collector might be right on this one. The first one was Diceland. Strategy game for 2 players. I've never heard of it. But then it was Halo, Mario Kart, Dance Dance Revolution, Doom, and then Pong. Oh, it looks like they always... the first 3 years, they started with Diceland. Yeah. Halo Collector is correct. I actually didn't know that. I thought it was always video games. Halo Collector is correct. Yeah, because Omegathon 4, they did Puzzle Quest, Challenge of the Warlords, Jenga, Calling All Cars, Puzzle Fighter, Rock Band, and then Halo 3. Omegathon 5 was Peggle, Boom Blocks, Geometry Wars, Rock Band 2, Jenga, and Verse Excite Bike. Yeah, I mean, they do a whole bunch of stuff. Let's see what the most recent year was.
Big will be streaming from 1 to 8 as normal Pacific time.
Yep.
We do not do Mixcasts on the weekends.
Except for today because it's a makeup day.
Yep.
Omegathon PAX Australia 2014. First game was Ikaruga. Then Kerplunk. Towerfall Ascension. Operation. Battle Block Theater. Oh my god. I love that game. And then Combat on Atari 2600. Pretty cool. And then
Combat on a Atari 2600?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I remember that.
And then actually 3 years ago at PAX South was Beautiful Katamari, Kerplunk, Geometry Wars, Super Avalanche 2, Lumines Live, and then GoldenEye. It's just like super random games. It's super random games. Yeah. Pretty cool. I hope you're ready non-stop Southern sayings all weekend. Let's hear it. I'm writing down every single one. I want to hear stuff about chickens and I don't know. Whatever you have to say in the South. All right. Y'all. I like British Church says one word, y'all, and it got deleted. But yeah, and then PAX also does a bunch of merch. So they always do like they have hats and bags and play mats if you do like Magic the Gathering. They have pins. They have even more pins. Look at this cat pin. They have dye like a D6, hoodies, shirts. I have that shirt, but the PAX West version. Snapbacks, whole bunch of stuff. They do a bunch of stuff.
Gosh, I'm gonna have to look and see what I want. And
No,
have
it's
you get it
because
for me.
Y is separated with an apostrophe. That's why. British shares.
See you, Lightning.
Pins galore. There's a lot of pin trading. There's so much pin trading.
So you won't mind bringing me a bunch of stuff if I ask for it.
If you want to, I even offered that to a whole bunch of people in the chat earlier. If you want to direct PayPal me some stuff and you know it's there, yeah, just direct PayPal me, include the tax.
Why would I PayPal you a shirt when I want?
What?
You said you gotta have to direct PayPal you something. I don't know how to direct PayPal a shirt when I'm the one that wants it. It makes no sense.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Why do you confuse me like that?
All right. And now on to Bad Frog's section, streamers' mental health, because mine is degrading.
It's just going off the rails like the show always does. What do you want? What do you mean I want all the shirts? I need all the shirts. Look at the size of me. Look at this. This is a pants, not a shirt.
Oh my god. All right. So for those who weren't here, actually, can you put the link in the chat because I don't have it? It took 21 minutes 55 seconds. You need a dress.
How do you know I don't wear moo-moos every day?
What is a moo-boo?
It's what Homer Simpson wear when he gained a bunch of weight.
What?
Look up, Google Homer Simpson and moo-moo. You'll find it.
Oh, moo-moo. I thought you said moo-boo.
Moo-moo. Moo-moo. Oh, let me find an empty. There we go. I was looking for an empty.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he said moo-boo.
Oh, get off my back. You know I can't speak English very well. Why do you expect any different from me? Oh, my goodness. Oh, come on. Open the window. Open the window. Don't open the window. Just spin. I'm getting the spinning blue disc.
For those who don't
we were
know
on time, David.
What Bad Frog is talking about. There you go. There's Homer Simpson wearing a muumuu.
There, I found it.
It's just when the Y is separated from the rest of the word. All right.
I found it.
Sweet.
I had to do it on a different computer.
All right. So for the exciting portion of the Mixcast, we did a huge topic on Thursday about gamers and streamers' mental health. And it was actually really, really great. We went through the first 5 topics on this sheet, and we were talking about struggles that people go through in the past and even today, and how things like that can turn out to be better. And it was really, really awesome. So we are continuing on that, and we would love as many of you to participate as possible. You do not have to share your stories if you don't want to. It becomes very, very personal. I tend to chime in on most of these things because I don't really have much to hide. I am a very open person. If you have opinions on this stuff, please share it, as long as you're okay to. And I think that's about it.
That link in the chat is to what I wrote up when my son did. You're more than welcome to copy it if you want. Read it. If anybody read it, I'd be curious to find out if they read it or not, other than some people. And if you got a question, ask. I'll answer it if I can. But as I said last night, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. Not part of the industry. This is just my opinion on being in the community for almost a year now. So that was kind of my start on that deal. I can't remember where we left off.
We left off on question 6.
On
So,
6.
yeah, I'll read the question. It says, if you're not a streamer, do you find it easier or harder to share with people in these streaming communities, and why do you think so? So this is like sharing your personal stories in, like, you know, if you've gone through hard times or anything along that line. Do you want to give us some examples of what people had shared?
Well, this was one of the shorter one. I included it because I allowed streamers and non-streamers to answer the questions for obvious reasons.
Yep.
What it boiled down to is like I've said in a lot of them, they all found it easier because they were anonymous to relate to. The one interesting thing I found was that they would find it harder as a streamer, but easier as a viewer to share, which I guess you could see that because you're on screen and on a camera. You have people can see you, so you're not exactly hidden like you would be as a viewer.
But showing your emotions.
But it was an interesting thing. There was a clear line in between a viewer and a streamer. And since Dr. Rage has made it, you don't care, Dr. Rage. I'm just making sure. Okay. Dr. Rage was part of this. He suffers from PTSD from the military and uses gaming as a way to get away from his frustration, get rid of his rage, which is why his name is Dr. Rage. No joking assigned. I'm serious. This man rages when he plays, and you can tell it's serious sometimes. But he streams just to do that, I think. Because the way he streams is a little bit different than the way he watches. Is my mic cutting out a bit? I was afraid of that because I got a really bad connection tonight.
Yeah, it's probably because you're watching other streams and stuff.
No, I've got them all shut off now.
You have nothing else running other than Discord?
Just Discord.
Oh, weird.
So, and I've got my Ethernet plugged in. I've just got bad signal tonight, I guess.
You're all good. Most of it is coming through. It's just every so often a word doesn't go through.
I apologize, guys. I really do. Sometimes my internet is just kind of that way. I thought it was going to be because the picture kept going out on me.
It's all good.
Anyway, the exception with Dr. Rage having PTSD, I think, is that it's not something that happened. I suffer from PTSD for a different reason. But his version, as I put in somewhere, is something you see things no human should ever see. There's likelihood he will never get over it. He's always going to be triggered by something. And this is only just from me hanging around PTSD guys in San Antonio while my wife there worked there. It's just the way it is. It's nothing directly relatable to anything other people have kind of gone through, but it's so different that it's just hard to treat. Yeah. So it's just one of those things. He's for suffering for it. He holds together really well. So, yep, exactly. But anyway, that was kind of what I had there. I guess if anybody had any questions about anything we talked about before, you're welcome to ask about that too. I don't mind going backwards a little bit, but sure. That was pretty much all I had there. I don't know what Big wanted to expand on that or not.
No, it's fine. That was a little bit harder for one to have people jump into. So yeah, the next one was, do you find the gaming community is more accepting of you than regular society? And if so, why? So yeah, this one is I feel like a lot of people are going to answer this question very similar, which is a simple yes.
Yep.
It's so easy for, like, you can have anyone from, you know, like, it's always so interesting because anyone plays video games. You can have you know, like like seniors playing video games to young children to people like super stocked in tattoos to people who are extremely religious and don't get any tattoos to like your middle teens to like literally anyone plays video games. And because when you're behind a screen and your face is not on the screen, you're a lot more accepted. There's no judgment until, you know, like a lot of judgment comes from people when you meet them in person because initial glances, and it's terrible, right? Racism and judgment and all of that stuff, like all that stuff is literally visual. If we didn't have visuals, how would we, you know to judge these people until the way that they react to things? And yeah, and when you're behind a keyboard or behind a controller, no one can do that stuff. They can literally only judge you based off of the way that you talk to them over the internet. It's kind of a magical thing, you know, that you can be friends with so many different types of people and so many people just by talking online. And
I talked to somebody last night. I'm not going to tell you who, but basically they expressed how this community in particular, but overall communities are a lot more accepting and nice than their own families are sometimes, which you can kind of see that. And what I wrote back is that it's because we're more of the outsider group of people. We don't really care about race, looks, anything, because we have that common ground of gaming, which sees none of that. So it's easy to make that bond and forget about the rest, which I think is just unusual and like anything else, because gaming used to be such an insular society. It was boys to 18 years old or something like that as a majority of them, very few women, and it's really spread out a lot now.
Oh, yeah.
So
you'll see that half my population tends to be females.
Yep.
In my channel.
Yep. There's a lot of people on. I mean, there's far more.
There's a lot of females
on Mixer than you would think.
Yep. There's a lot of females on Mixer. Period. Just like so. I would be surprised if the population of Mixer is not probably like around 65 to 70% male, which sounds like, you know, there's an outweighing, but the only reason why I say that is because there's going to be a lot more male boys than there are females on gaming, and that's just how it is, and that's what weighs the outweigh. As for adults and like from your teens to your adults, I'd say it's a lot closer to 50-50 females to males. Yep. Once you hit around maybe the like 13 and up, something around there. But younger than 13, it tends to be mostly boys. So, but yeah.
And there's a lot of people in like British chairs who hide behind a non-generic name. And I'm not saying British is doing so, but you have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
And until they tell you, you don't know.
Either a profile picture will give it away.
There's a lot of women will hide behind a generic name just so they don't get crap.
Yep.
But,
and that's what I was just saying, is that either a profile picture or a generic name can hide you for who you really are. Like, I mean, how would I ever know the race of anyone here in the chat too, you know? And in straight all honesty, like, there's people who, and I'm not going to give them away because I don't, if for whatever reason they don't want to be judged, but there's plenty of people in our community who I never knew they were African American, because how would you ever know? Even over voice, you'd still never know, unless they have like a really thick accent. Like, you know, the African American population sometimes will have accent. Southern accents will generally refer to things along that line. It's crazy. how would you, like, literally you would never know the race of some people, like, um especially like if you can't tell accents apart, like knowing where LOTC comes from, or knowing where, I'm trying to think of people who have thick accents. Inked has a thick accent, and like Inked, you would say, oh, he's from Britain or something. But British people and Australian people, their accents are not that far apart from each other. They get easily confused. So you could easily see a British person and an Australian person between each other. And you just never know. You never know where all these people are from, and it's crazy. You don't see it because you're British. When you're British, you won't see it as much. But
yeah, well, it's a lot of it. It's the same thing. It boils down to. It's just that this community is so non-judgmental for the most part. There are exceptions. I'm not going to play the 100% game because I've run into some people I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole here. With a few exceptions, most of the people are so judgeless as far as that. Yep. And a lot of it's the anonymity again, but it just is it feels like a safer environment to be in, where you have people that seem to honestly care about you, anything you've been through, what you look like, how you think. They just like you because you play games. And that's what it boils down to.
I'd say that's probably where it starts. Liking you because you play games. However, a lot of that will mold into something much further than that, and sometimes it won't even be about games.
Absolutely, but I'm just saying that's the beginning of where it starts. You always have that door. Oh, you play games, I play games. Let's talk about games.
Yeah.
And maybe later on you talk about something else, but the most of the time you're talking about games. So it's a specific thing. So
yeah.
But that was pretty it for that. A lot of these were really short after that.
Well, that's fine. I like that one a lot, though. Do you find that the gaming community is more accepting than the regular society, and if so, why? And if you guys have anything to share on that, please feel free. Bad Frog said, British Share said, you all thought I was a guy for the longest time. I never get that IRL. And we would, like, of course, IRL, if anyone runs into you, and I'm going to say this, but I don't mean it in a harsh way at all, but if you're obviously a female, it's, who, like, people are just going to say, she, just right off the bat. Obviously some people are not as much developed or anything along that line, and facial structures, especially if your parents are from countries where facial structures are more masculine and stuff, it sometimes will get harder to tell, but there's very rare occasions for stuff like that. But online, no one would ever know. That's the whole joke. Girls are on the internet, because how do you would never know. It's the same thing, right? And then
the funny thing about the whole dude thing, and I think about this all the time because I happen to mod a girl from England, and I happen to mod for a Don't Start MD, and a mod from England, and they both have the same content, cadence, and usage of as each other that's slightly different from the American way of speaking. But both of them call everybody dude, male or female, even if they know. Everybody's
I call him dude.
But, I mean, even if they know, everybody is dude.
Everyone's
the one
dude
that's
for me.
My favorite thing to hear her say when I go into her channel is, "Hey, what's up, my dude?" Yep. I love hearing that from her every time. So it's just an odd thing. But we have gone off the rails on this now already.
No, that's still part of it. Mango says, the thing is, if you don't know what someone looks like and they have a good personality, you can't really judge them. Exactly. And that's the great part, is you determine whether someone judges you based off of the way that you're speaking to them, right? If you speak to them in text nasty, that was your own fault, right? Like, that's your own fault, because they didn't judge you on anything else, What am I going to judge you on? That your name is Mango? It's a fruit.
Well, and
You can go ahead.
I keep roboting. The good part and the bad part about a keyboard. The good part is it makes you think before you type something because you've got to be kind of clear, and you can't use sarcasm, which gets people in trouble because they say something with sarcasm and it doesn't come off that way in text.
It's hard. You have
It's
to know
hard
the
to
person
do.
before.
You have to know the person, just
Yeah.
like everybody in here knows that there's a regular. Anything I type in chat is absolutely ridiculously foolish.
Yeah.
And that's the way I've always been in here, and they know it means nothing. I just the way I am. But for somebody new, you have to be really careful about, and I think it makes people think how they talk to each other, because any normal person does not want to come off as a horrible human being to the other one right off the bat.
Yeah.
So you're going to be really careful how you say things. Whereas in face-to-face, you've got facial expressions, tone of voice, everything else that you can figure out from what somebody's saying if they're being sarcastic or not. But that's kind of I think that's what helps too, is having a chat kind of community, is that most people have to think a little bit before they say something. So
David identifies as a velociraptor, and he's the most wonderful velociraptor I know. So,
Dr. Rage and Mrs. Rage say bro to each other all the time.
Yeah. Did you do the giveaway? No. So yeah, lots of interesting ways to think about people. Like you don't. There's no need for judging. There's no need for judging ever. Even when you meet someone in real life, who cares what color their skin is, right? If you can judge someone based off of the way that they're talking to you over chat message, you can do the same in real life too. The only other thing you get to judge off of in real life is the way that their body expressions are towards you. If they're like angrily pointing in your face or something, or they bump into you and they don't even say sorry or something, that's other things you can do. But like before a person even says something to you, nah. Foretold. No. So yeah. So question 8. If you have any physical or medical problems and you wish to share, that may be a contributing factor to your illness, please list them and how it affects you. So this one, you do not have to say anything in the chat. You do not have to say it in the chat if you don't want to. So I'm going to read that one again. If you have any physical/medical problems and you wish to share, that may be a contributing factor to your illness, please list them and how it affects you. So what was the responses that you got out of that,
This is the one where I poked fun at myself. I'll read the whole paragraph because it's not much. This is what I said. This is really a pointless question on my part. The obvious mental conditions were apparent, and any physical ailments would only make these conditions worse. And I got the expected answers with the exception of a physical that I couldn't have known about and made these mental conditions only worse. Basically, it was a pointless question. Not asking it, it's obvious. I got answers to it, but all of them told me the same thing. Those who had physical problems, like I do, problems worse. There's some that physical problems they had caused mental problems, because, like, if you have chronic pain, it will lead to depression, because there is nothing worse than chronic pain. I can attest to that.
Sure.
Because it's 24/7, 365, and never goes away. It never goes away. And it will lead to massive amounts of depression and other stupid thoughts. But I didn't get any information out of this, and I should have known I wouldn't have. That would have been of any interest. And that's why I kind of poked at myself on this one and said this was a pointless question.
Let's see.
Maybe other people feel differently than I do, but I felt stupid for having asked it. So
I mean, I get it. Like, so like for example, this used to be a lot worse back, like, let's say 15 years ago. I have severe asthma. I have inhalers everywhere I go. I have an inhaler in my car. I have an inhaler in my house. I have inhalers in my bathroom. I have breathing machines downstairs, so that way if I ever have an asthma attack, I won't die. And that's literally it. So I won't die. I have extreme asthma. It's really bad. But when I was a kid, carrying it around an inhaler, when I was already a nerd and didn't have friends, it didn't make things better. You know, it didn't make things better at all. And I think that's kind of what this question was leading towards. Um, if you have any physical / medical problems that you wish to share, could be a contributing factor into your illness. So yeah, like having an inhaler didn't help me get friends at all. If anything, people were like, "Oh, look at that kid. He's a nerd and he has to use inhalers and all this stuff, right?" And I can't even like it sounds so stupid to say that and that would actually be a reason, but it was a reason. It was a reason why people wouldn't talk to me or they would make fun of me because I had to use an inhaler to breathe. You know? It's so stupid. I'm sorry my lungs don't work properly, you know? And yeah, that was a problem that doesn't exist today. Today if anyone sees my inhaler, which happens practically daily, because I carry it around with me everywhere I go, right? So it happens practically daily. People just say, "Oh, you have asthma. I have a friend who has asthma." Because 1 in 3 Americans have asthma. 1 in 3. That's a crazy number. 33% of the United States has asthma.
Well, there's something that goes with that though, Big. As kids, and you can see this better as an adult, and you have to remember it this way too, because even if you were the outcast, you were still looking for other outcasts to be even more outcast than you. So you wouldn't be the furthest outside the circle. Find anything physical as a kid, an inhaler for asthma. It used to be glasses a long time.
Oh, sure.
Anything that would make you different made it easier to push them further outside and keep them out of. But as adults, even though we're like children sometimes and play games like that, it's differently than we do with those kind of attributes. So as you get older, the inhaler starts to mean less and less. This is my opinion. I felt when I was a kid, and that's how we kind of sorted everybody. You go in this group, and you go in that group, and you go in that group, and everybody got grouped up. So,
yeah. No, I got you.
Jade says, I literally feel so sick today that I'm honestly contemplating taking drastic measures. Sickness definitely contributes to mental health. Yeah, and I got to say, you've got 40 people here that are here for you all the time. So anytime you feel that way, drop us a DM.
She did. She sent me a message.
Phone call. That's how me and Big talk.
Yep.
There's a lot of people here for you. So
she sent me a message during stream.
Okay.
And I saw her.
Anyway,
I told her it was all good. That she needs to do what she needs to do.
I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
So.
And she knows that I'm here for her. She knows that even though I'm on stream and I'm doing my thing, that I know she's in the chat and she's chilling. And that's all I want. Is for her to be here chilling. So, but yeah,
Dr. Rage above her, I think was where you were at.
Well, so British just said, if someone steals your loot or if someone bumps into you and doesn't say sorry, for having a reason to judge people. Yeah, I mean, if someone's stealing my loot, LOTC, sign, all of you guys. And then Wonderboy, man, the amount of people.
I put that in chat.
Well, so the amount of people that I hold the door open at a store and they don't say thank you. Where did you grow up? If someone holds the door open for you, you say thank you. Like, really? And then I had one person say, I can do that myself. I was like,
Yep.
I'm sorry that I was raised to be nice no matter who it is. I bet you can do it yourself. I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm sorry for being nice. Man.
Don't go there, David. I'm just warning you. Don't go there. British will get you.
Well, why did you have to point it out like that?
Because I want British.
Oh my god. No.
Actually, a reason is that there's some people that feel that they can do it all themselves, and just that courtesy that you think is an insult to them. It just comes out that way.
Bad Frog is the worst.
I had a friend of mine that was in a wheelchair, and nothing would make him more angry than somebody opening the door for him because he could do it himself. He didn't want to seem as less than anybody else. And it didn't matter how much we explained to him, this is people being nice. He couldn't stand it. So it's just the absolute British. I'm not going to argue with you about it. Dude, you got to see
I love that comeback. That comeback from British was the best.
You got to see our DMs. There's something else.
We talked. So Dr. Rage said the one physical problem and when I get into a crowded place. Also, when I go out to eat, I have to have my back to the wall, and I'm always scanning and looking for ways out when stuff hits the fan. I'm actually the same way, Dr. Rage. I don't have PSD oh my god.
PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD. In the same way, but I'm a very protective person. My situational awareness is very high. I know when people are following me. Like, not even if they're not following me on purpose. I know how long a person has been walking behind me. I am the same way when it comes to restaurants. Unless it is a window that's to my back, I will always sit on a side where there is no one behind me, if I can.
Yep.
I know where like escape exits are, and I'm a very aware person. And in Florida, gun laws are very different. In Florida, you can carry a gun on you wherever you want, so long as you have a permit for it, and you have to have a 2-step to be able to fire the weapon.
Even if you don't know what that is, you actually have to cock it and then pull the trigger. You can't just pull the trigger.
There has to be it has to be 2 steps before you can fire the weapon. So cocking the weapon is not enough. There has to be a safety, then cock the weapon, then fire the weapon, or it has to be 2 steps before you can fire the weapon. So, I wasn't sure about it, David. I haven't looked at the concealed weapons in Washington, but yeah. So being very aware of who has weapons on them is a very mindful thing that I have. I can usually tell who has a weapon on them because concealeds, even though it's called concealed, they're still fairly easy to point out. Generally, if you have something shown, like even like a ridge on your pocket or a ridge on your back, that's not a natural thing. But obviously concealed, can get pretty concealed. So, it's but in Florida you can walk down the street with an AK, like as long as it's 2 steps, it's very very it's very very open there. So having the ability to know what my situation experience, it's really good. You carry here in Washington, British? Really? I want to talk to you then because I'm actually thinking about getting my pistol here in Washington and getting all of my appropriate licenses and my safe and all that stuff. So, but yeah, it's very natural. I'm offended by your statement of unnatural back ridges.
Oh god.
But yeah. Mango says I have suffered from depression for a while, and I don't really like to go out in public, and it's mostly because I have ginger hair, and most people give me funny looks, and my depression started at least 15 years ago. Yeah, I can totally see that. Redheaded people, especially boys, are run into a lot more problems when it comes to that. Women, sure, yeah, redhead doesn't matter which gender, but I'm just saying boys seem to be targeted a little bit more than redheaded females, which is funny because I literally have someone in my chat named redheaded female. And then, but
Yep.
it's a tough thing, man. Some of that is literally, if you try to argue with that person, it's only going to make it worse. Some of those things is, you got to just think of how stupid these people are that they're making fun of the color of your hair. They took time out of their day, the limited time that you have on this planet, to make fun of you because of your hair color. They could be inventing new technology to make this earth a better place, but did something as stupid as that. You just got to realize how dumb people really are. And when you think about that, it doesn't let you get that bad, or it doesn't hurt you as much. It may still hurt. I'm not telling you it's going to solve all your problems. Think about it in
Uh,
that way, man. Think
you
about
got
it
to
in that
have
way.
some kind of sense of humor about it too, because, for example, my friend Stat Booster he's ginger. There's no ifs ands or buts about it. He knows it, and I pick at him incessantly because of the South Park episodes.
Oh my god.
But that's what we do to each other. But it's not unusual for me to see him in a chat and I'll whisper, "You have no soul," and then I'll leave, and
It's
then he'll find me 2 hours later back to me. But
it's one
it's
of those
it's our
things.
way of just talking to each other, and that's just the way we talk to each other. It means nothing
Yeah.
except that we are aware of each other's situation, and we're making fun of it.
It's one of
Um,
those things where you just have to, you'll know who those people are in your life that you can have that relationship with. Actually, it was really interesting. Last night, I was hanging out on the couch with Cassie. We were watching Adventure Time. I was scrolling through Facebook because I don't scroll through Facebook that often. I usually check it about once a day. I was scrolling through Facebook, and I saw that one of my friends that I was extremely close with from elementary school all the way through high school. He's twins. He has a twin brother. Um, and he got engaged yesterday. And I was like, no way. And I went to go congratulate him on getting engaged. And then I was like, oh, he got engaged to a person named Cole. And I was like, that's an interesting name for a female. And then I clicked on Cole and I was like, that's a guy. I had no idea my really close friend for like 10 years was gay. Like, he never came out to me at all, never said anything, and he may have done it for other friends or anything, but never publicly announced that he was gay. And I was like, wow. I was like, congratulations, that's awesome, like, and it's so funny that, like, people will do something like, if they see even a simple thing of like a man got engaged to another man, uh and they'll have like a terrible reaction out of it. It like burst into my head. I was like, I can only imagine if the wrong person saw this, if a bad person saw this, because who knows how many people actually knew he was gay. I had no idea, and he was a really close friend of mine for like 10 years. I had no idea. um And
No, we don't like the different as a human being. We it's like the old thing with white sheep and black sheep. There's the black sheep of the family, but the sheep that weren't white, the other sheep will push out of the group because they want everything. It's if you, anywhere you go, anything that's different from the majority, for some reason we feel the need to push those people out to the edge of society, which I don't understand because again it goes back to my thing. As individuals aren't. As a group, we are extremely stupid.
Yeah.
And I think that's the herd mentality of the human being is that they want to be part and they're going to do whatever it takes to be part of that group. And everybody claims they're all loners and everything else. It's just not true. Some people are. I can promise you I am. I don't like people hardly at all just because I have anxiety issues that make it so I don't. This is fine, but other than that, no. But it's just the nature of being human, I think, is what causes that. And I don't know if we're going to evolve past that or not. I told British when I was talking to her, I said in 500 years we could be evolved past this in the genders. We don't know how. In 500 years we could all be a slight shade of gray as a color. Yeah. Who knows? It's just if we can learn how to get along, we might have a chance of evolving still, because right now we are devolving.
It's actually, I'll bring that up here in a second. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, if you try to use gay and like use the word gay in chat, gay is actually blocked in my chat because generally there's no reason to ever bring up the word gay. So if you go to use the word, just use I instead of Y. We'll understand what you're talking about. But yeah, Mango says I don't see why people use gay as an insult. It doesn't even make any sense, man. It doesn't even make any sense at all. Like the word has two meanings. You're attracted to the person of the same sex. And why that would ever be an insult is unbelievable. And then two, the other meaning for the word is happiness. How could that ever be used as an insult? It's like it doesn't even make sense. If you're trying to insult someone, why are you using like one of the like better like official word? Like it's a good word. It's like I'm gonna insult you because I'm calling you a nice person. Bad Frog, stop being a nice person.
Now, before this goes too far, I want to warn you guys, don't be cute with how you say things in chat about this subject. Just don't do it. I know we're not being discriminatory, but somebody from the outside won't see that. So we really need to be careful how you say things because this is a TOS area.
Yeah.
So kind of fair warning.
Yep. There's like this is a no harm stream. So if you show something aggressive, we are not afraid to ban or timeout. Like, and timeout is very, on the fence. It's pretty much ban or not. So don't be offensive.
Are you going to get reported and suspended? Yeah. Just be very careful.
So Twister said,
but it's still the same thing. We're a herd mentality. We push those out that are different. So I just want to keep pointing that out because everybody makes the same example. This and this and this. It's the same thing. The odd gets pushed out. I'm not saying they're odd. I'm just saying if you're different, you can't belong. I don't know why that has to be, but it is.
Yeah. Twister said when I was a kid.
But anyway, you're up at Twister, I think.
Yep. I got teased for being big and tall. I didn't let it bother me at first, but as I got older, it bothered me. Since then, my self-confidence has been extremely low, and I overthink everything, which contributes to my anxiety. My self-confidence is so low that sometimes I don't like going out in public because of the looks I get from people. You are a very tall dude. You've got to be close. for those who don't know, Twister's got to be close to like the 7 foot mark. Like he's a giant. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all, Twister. You're only 6'5". I feel like you're so much taller than that. Twister,
Well,
like
you're only 5'4", so
I'm 5'4". Okay. Twister is a very tall guy. And my cousin is actually 6'5" as well. That's why I thought you were taller than him. Being tall is not a bad thing at all. The only problems that you run into while being tall is generally you have larger sized feet. I'm a fairly tall guy. I'm 6 foot. And I wear 12 and a halves. And then the other problem you run into is just leg room on planes and cars. Like, that's the problem that you run into the most. Like, other
you
than
forgot the biggest thing you run into being the doorway.
Doorway. But generally doorways are 7 feet. So unless you have,
it doesn't matter. It was a joke.
if you have anxiety that you're going to hit your head, then yes, it's going to start running into a problem. But doorways are generally 7 feet.
I gotta tell you, I find that surprising, Twister. There was a kid I was teaching bowling to that was probably, when I started teaching him, he was like 14. I think he was 6, and he was big kid. He probably weighed 230, 240. And 5, I think, when he finally got done growing, and probably 240, 250. And he hated it. He would say he would much rather have been 6 inches shorter because he didn't like the way people stared at him all the time. But he's just a big kid.
Yeah, being tall, unfortunately, also runs into the issue of it's a lot easier to be bigger, like width-wise, because you generally have to eat more, because you have to sustain more of a human body, which will end up running into other problems, having bad backs, running into problems with your knees, and things along that line. And as Twister has said, he's also a bigger guy. And unfortunately, like that's something that society ends up picking on. And there's not a lot that you're capable of doing to avoid it. Fat shaming is a very, very highly occurring issue, and it's not fair because some people, one, have medical issues that causes them to have more weight than others. Some people were raised poorly. Like I know plenty of parents who overfeed their children and they end up being overweight, and it's sad, but what am I gonna do? Tell someone how to raise their kid and stop feeding him so much? Like, you can't just do that. It's a very weird issue to deal with. And the only thing you have limited choices, in my opinion. There might be more. And one of them is, you even said it yourself, is like you tried to hide yourself up a little bit in your house. And it's extremely unfortunate. But at least, you live a very friendly social life here. And building your self-confidence to show yourself out in public more is only something that you can work on. And a lot of working on that is going out with people who care about you. Your brother loves you. Going out with your brother to a bar. He's 21 now, Oh, but you don't drink. Doesn't mean you can't go out to a bar. Doesn't mean you can't go out to a bar. He doesn't drink either. Well, okay, whatever. Go out to, who cares? Bowling. Doesn't matter. Going out, enjoying an opportunity to just go out in public, meet people, and have a good time. And generally, step by step, going with someone helps a lot more when you're enjoying that time with someone else. And then your other part of it is spending, you know, wow, I'm gonna get you banned off of Mixer. All right. Report for harassment.
If it's not obvious enough, I obviously have a weight problem, but it's gotten to the point I just don't care anymore. But I've always been kind of a bigger guy anyway, except in high school. I was 5'11", 165 in high school. And when I got out of the Navy, I was 6 foot, 220 with very little body fat. And now, absolutely, well, that's your channel. Anyway, I would. Now I'm 6 foot 290. But in some cases, it's nice because people won't mess with me because I carry the weight a little differently. So I just look like a big guy that people don't want to mess with. But it's still, you still get the same thing. I just don't care anymore about what people think or say. So
Yeah,
it doesn't bother me.
some people have a hard time getting up past that. And I mean, the other thing too is, I mean, I don't know if how long I don't know, like, if this is stuff that you ever think about, Twister, is looking into um, weight loss and things like that. Not saying that you have to, you know. I just don't know what you like to think on things like that. But looking into self programs like that, people are really, really helpful in helping you get on track and keeping you motivated to do those things. Cassie goes to the gym with our roommate Mick. They both lost 60 pounds plus, you know, and a lot of that is working out together. And that could be just a little bit that someone needs to feel more confident to go out. Who knows, you know? And, you know, hopefully that doesn't put you down at all. I'm not saying that you definitely have to go do that at all. It's just other options that are out there. So, but yeah. And we're so happy that you came out to those events, Twister, you know. Having you sit back because, you know, you thought people might make fun of you or something is the last thing that we would have wanted for you. So, yeah. I think that's what I got on that.
And as you know, I couldn't make it as much as I wanted to because I can't get past certain things yet. And hopefully this next year I can get past enough that I can at least make it there. Chances of me going in the convention probably pretty damn slim. But there's some people I'd like to meet. But it's just the way it is. It has nothing to do with my size or anything. It's just problems I have. So I get it.
Yep.
But I think we're on the last one in the conclusion of this thing, and then we can let people ask whatever they want.
Wonderboy says societal views irritate me. It makes an individual feel uncomfortable in their own skin just for looking different. It's
you as well, Twister.
It's very it's very uncomfortable that people even have a mindset. Like, it's uncomfortable for me to think that someone walking down the street could even have a mindset like that, to judge someone just because of the way that they look. You know, let people do what they want. You know, like we went one of the biggest things that people tend to judge is face tattoos. And that one, I used to practically live in a tattoo shop when I was engaged to my ex, because she was a tattoo artist. So I would go to work with her every day because it was my last summer of college. So I went up to Canada and I just stayed with her for a few months, and she still had work and all that stuff, right? So I would go to the tattoo shop and I'd help out around the shop, and you know, it's just what I wanted to do with my last summer. And I practically lived in a tattoo shop, so seeing a lot of people who have tattoos on their faces is very common. And I understand why people look at people that have those issues, is because it's extremely rare to see someone who has a face tattoo. But the fact of the matter is, what is the difference between tattooing your face and tattooing your leg? It's a different part of your body. You know, you put a tattoo somewhere else. Who cares? In fact, half the reason why people get tattoos is so that way people can see them. I got tattoos on my legs for that reason because in Florida, you never wear long pants, you always wear shorts. So I always wear basketball shorts and people could see my leg tattoos. Well, where's the most common place you're going to look at someone? At their face, right? Yeah. So if someone likes getting tattoos so that way people will see them, you'll see them on their face. For me, it doesn't make a difference. And I know some of you in the chat might say, well, Big, I get it. I still don't like face tattoos. Opinions are fine. If you don't want to have a tattoo on your face, or if you don't necessarily like the way that it looks as a tattoo on a face, that's fine. I'm not saying your opinion is wrong. But judging a person because that's something that they wanted to enjoy, that's different. Judging someone on putting a piece of art on their face is different. It's something that's always interested me, is like that people, like, we ran into a guy at a sushi restaurant a few months back, and he was probably 90% of his body plus in tattoos. And you start running out of places to put tattoos. So eventually most of your face will get covered. And you, like, literally, there was a gap around this guy. The restaurant was packed except for the seats around this guy. And I was like, that's sad. It really is sad that these good people are judging this guy because he has tattoos on his face. And they won't even sit next to him. They don't even know what the guy looked like, what the guy sounds like, his voice. How do you know he's a bad guy? It is very
same thing I go back to all night long. He's different from everybody else.
Yep.
You got to push him out. That's the thing. I mean, it's just the way society is.
Yeah.
It's British kind of had a good sum up here that I really like. She said, but without seeing one online, one gets the chance to see who they really are. That's the beauty that friendship build. That may be part of why the gaming community, and I only use the gaming community because I don't know. I'm sure there might be other communities that are the same. Why the gaming community is so judgmental, because you can't see what the person is on the other side of that TV, computer screen, monitor. All you know from them is what they put on there. You don't know if it's a lie, if it's true. Those things happen. It's called catfishing. But as a general rule, you get to see who a person is through text more than you could in person, because you have less to hide because you're anonymous. If you do it anymore, you just shut the conversation off. There's nothing they can do about it. So I really think that's the best thing about that. And then, like I told talking earlier, we have this common base of gaming that, I guess it was somebody else. Sorry. We have this common base of gaming that keeps us together from the beginning, and then you expand upon that. I was talking to somebody else that I can't mention, but that was the thing that I kind of got out of that with what she said. Yeah. So.
Dr. Rage said, one of the things that I do is say hi to everyone because you don't know what that person is going through, and maybe that hi is what they need to get through the day. Going through and talking to everyone at a party or at a social meeting or anything like that, you know how many times I said hi to the same people over and over because I was just going through my rounds talking to everyone at my barbecue? And it was tough. There was a lot of people. There was like 30 plus people there. And some of them, it was like, they, like, people would move around a lot. So I would, like, lose people. So, like, whenever I saw someone, I would try to make sure I go out and say hi. David was very active in making sure he was in different spots. So it was very hard to make sure I ran into David multiple times. But David was really good about coming back to me, so it would give me an opportunity to talk to him a little bit. Yeah, it was, you never know. All the, like, these people who come to a social meeting to say, I know all these people online and I'm so excited to meet them, but they might have social anxiety. Talking to people at these parties might be hard for them. So you never know that, like, oh, Big came over and said hi, and then I got to meet Muffin. And then me and Muffin talked for a while Big went to go talk with other people or cook the rest of the burgers or something. You know, because I was the cook, I was the host and doing all that stuff. So I was doing a whole bunch of stuff. So you never know. Saying Dr. Rage is 100% right. You never know what a simple hi will do. Let's see. Twister said, "I know in school kids do it because they want to belittle people who feel threatened or who they feel threatened by. I guess that's what the same is for adults. Sometimes, 100%. Um, it's a little sad that adults carry that all the way, all the way to adulthood. It's a little sad."
And you can't say enough about little guys like this for people in my condition. This, I know, lie is a life savior some days because they don't care. They're still your buddy, no matter what.
Yep, they don't care what you look like or who you are, as long as you're not bad to them. So
that's the worst part about it with dogs. You could be as evil as you want to. It's crazy, but anyway,
I have two more. I have Wonder Boy, who said, I had to wear long sleeve shirts every day when I was a manager at Chuck E. Cheese because I have a sleeve. He means a tattoo sleeve. I was also told that when I interviewed anyone, I couldn't hire them because they don't allow tattoos. That is changing in today's society, especially in the technological fields and art fields, especially art fields.
Well, a lot of I think the gaming industry is more than the art fields, because
oh yeah, I mean
the people that get tattoos
industry
are the ones that were pushed on the edge of society in the first place, as much as what people, and the gamers kind of have, like, you are now getting tattoos that show the games that they love and want to express that.
100%.
And they were already geeks anyway, so they were pushed out to the edge. So, like, all mine right now are hidden because I'm 50 in a different day and age. You had nothing that would show on. You had nothing that come out underneath a shirt that could show. And I have some that long pants won't cover, but my two big tattoos are way up where even wearing shorts you can't see them very well. So
yeah,
mine are pretty hidden.
Yeah, and that's how mine started too. Mine started with so in Florida, my first tattoo was on my arm. This arm, wrong arm. First tattoo was on my arm, but a short sleeve could cover it, so a job would never know that I had tattoo. Then my second tattoo was down on my left calf.
There's my first one.
Yep. High enough on the arm
covers.
So a sleeve could cover. Yep. Then my left calf, because work pants are generally long pants unless you're working outside. But I was never working any outside jobs. So
or were UPS, because they got those
the UPS
things
shorts.
that are shorts or pants. I don't know which.
Yeah. And then after I started getting more into college and stuff like that, then my tattoos started leaking out, like wrist and ankle and stuff like that. And I have one on my chest. Not that anyone ever sees like my chest for working positions, but having tattoos spread out, like all over my legs and stuff like that. And I'm talking about saving up money and getting a full sleeve done. So hopefully I'll have that done. I would love to do it by the end of this year, but it's probably going to be next year.
Of course, we're now drifting into an area that I wanted to have as a topic.
Oh, really? Well, yeah. Well, that's another topic. Yeah, British. And then so Master DPM said, I remember at school they showed a picture of a guy covered in tattoos, and the teacher asked what kind of person he was. The class was said that he was bad. Turns out he's famous for his tattoos, and all of them were about his families and loved ones. There's actually a lot of famous fully tattooed people. There's a guy in my hometown that actually gets sponsors for tattoos. So he gets like the monster logo tattooed on him, and they pay him to have branding on him. It's very interesting. It's not something that I would personally do, but I thought it was really neat that he was literally a walking billboard. Very, very cool. Yeah, it was very cool. But yeah, it was neat. It was neat. Let's see. Master DPM says, yeah, it's cool. So now I don't judge people by their looks, but how they act and attitude, personality. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Also, don't forget that people have bad days, People have bad days. And if, you ever run into them in a second circumstance, don't attack them because, they gave you hell on one day. Come back, you just say, hey man, how's it going? And they're still rude to you. That's a bad person. But if they come back to you and, they're nice and you have a genuine conversation, you can easily pass it off as, that person probably just had a bad day. I have bad days and sometimes I don't want to talk to people. You can't forget about that. So,
and there's been a couple times that I've had really bad days and had to. It's been a real effort to hide it so you guys don't. It's a game I have to play with people sometimes, but you can only do it for so long, and that's just kind of the way it is. But that I kind of agree with Big. Don't take first impressions sometimes because they just may be having a bad day.
Yeah.
And that happens to me a lot. So.
Yep. You never know. I mean, definitely keep the first impression in your head. This person could potentially be a bad person. Know when to walk away from the conversation, but give them another chance. Dr. Rage has a bunch of tattoos, and yeah,
9.
It's all dependent on the field of work you're going into because of, unfortunately, the entire working force does not agree on tattoos, especially if you start getting into business and private workplaces. Private workplaces are very against tattoos for some reason. I don't understand it. And retail, depending on the type of retail, if you're like Hot Topic or something, they say the more tattoos, the better. But, you go to some of these fancy places, they won't even think about someone who has a tattoo. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
I'm pro tattoo equality, and have been outspoken about it a lot. I mean, believe me, I'm very much on that. My ex was a tattoo artist, and the reason I don't speak to my father anymore was because he was against tattoos. He was against tattoos, and he had two himself. Yeah, it was a very literally the whole reason why I don't speak to my father started because of that. So, but yeah, I'm one of those people who, that I have to talk to people constantly, and it keeps me positive. It's good. It's good because you don't know, you might be keeping someone else positive. Just make sure you don't overrun people because sometimes there'll be conversations where it's like, uh-oh, I can't get out of this conversation. Dr. Rage won't stop talking. But you never know. Like you know when you've been talking a lot.
Interestingly enough, as far as Dr. Rage goes, I don't think he is, but he doesn't take he doesn't take stuff serious that he knows is not serious. And I'm horrible about this, and I try not to do it to people that I don't know, but sarcasm is my thing. I just pick at people, and when I get too far, they have to. But we spent one night. I think he and I I don't know who else was playing. They were playing Fortnite, and usually I just get into the conversation. I don't play, and we talk. It just happened to be this night I didn't get on. And I was on the keyboard, and I'm writing these horrific stories about what a horrible person Dr. Rage was as a kid and growing up and all this stuff. Just endless. And we were dying. But I only did that because I knew he knew that I wasn't serious, and it was just a riot, and he was having a blast with it. But you can't do that with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but he's just one of those guys that kind of goes along. So,
yeah.
And then you watch him play, and it's like a rage monster.
All right, let's do the last topic here. Actually, I'm going to throw up the Mixcast code for those who are interested. If you want to win a year of Xbox Live, take a look at the code on the stream. It is I'm dead. I'm dead. No spaces, no apostrophes, just I'm dead. Capitalization does not matter. If you type ! Mixcast in the chat, you'll get a link and you can enter in that code there for a year of Xbox Live, as well as following us on Twitter and YouTube and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So good luck, everyone. We hope everyone someone who's active here in Mixcast has a chance to win it, or does end up winning it.
Speaking of Dr. Rage, as I was doing stuff earlier, I had your window open. Did I hear something? Because I heard you saying his name. Did he win something today?
Did Dr. Rage win something today? Is that what you're asking me?
Did he win something today?
Did Dr. Rage win something today?
Yeah.
Dr. Rage won an Xbox gift card.
Okay, I was just kind of curious.
Oh, yeah.
Because I haven't won anything for like 6 months, and Dr. Rage has been here like 3 weeks, and he wins something.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of fair is that?
So, yeah. Last question. I gave each the chance to add anything else that they wished to share, and for the most part, they did not respond. From the mostly complete answers I had already received, this was no surprise. The best answer was apologizing for sharing too much. Not possible. They showed a ton of bravery and to answer as completely as they did. So is there any information that you wanted to share on that, Bad Frog? It's not really a question or anything. It was kind of more of a statement. But
yeah. And as long as I don't break up, I hopefully can share what the end of this is. And I know MD put the link in the channel last night, or in the Mixcast channel. If you want to read this, it's sitting there. It's free for anybody to read. It is actually kind of interesting, surprisingly enough. I'm not just saying that because I wrote it. But anyway, I said the final thoughts. From my time on Mixer, a more accepting community overall, and differences are not seen as deficiencies. They're the usual trolls that society produces who find it amusing to ruin other people's experience, but overall the communities are very supportive and inclusive. I received answers from people across race and gender lines, and they, for the most part, felt the same way about these communities. I believe, although I can't prove it, the gaming community is filled with a huge number of people who have suffered from mental and physical abuse. I think the gaming community is a way for these people to express themselves, and it draws them out to be the person they should have been from the beginning. I did this for a couple reasons. I saw a trend and wanted to follow and track it. I think that mental health needs to keep getting pulled out of the closet and not seen as some kind of contagious disease. And I suffer greatly from this myself, and I wanted perspective I could receive from the mental health professional. And that was basically my summation of all the stuff I had found from the questions I had and just my I obviously used a bunch of big words in there because I prove I could, but it's a lot of everything we've talked about tonight so far is what I basically found within the questionnaires that I asked these people. And it can't be 100% because it's voluntary. I can't speak for everybody. Not everybody has been abused in some kind of way. But I think there's a big chunk of Mixer community just from the way people talk and the way they support each other. When stuff comes out like that, sometimes that support can only come from people who know what you're talking about. So that was my thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, you did a really good thing here by collecting a lot of information for people who, I mean, from people who have had a lot of issues and wanted to share that information and pass along the good deed to others. And we had a lot of people share a lot of great things here. We had a lot of people, relive stuff that maybe they didn't want to relive, but they knew it was for the better to share and help others that could be running into those issues. And we thank everyone who did participate in that. It's really meaningful to others, to us, to Mixcast, to everything. Um, so it really is fantastic. Um, as for as for like the information that's shared, this Bad Frog said he's going to get rid of all the personal details from each person, all their private messages. Um, but this article will remain in Mixcast, and we will be pinning it. So that way, if you ever want to share this stuff and maybe, provide the link to someone else who's struggling and then talk to them about it, and maybe give them the link to this because this is going to go up on YouTube. You can show that stuff and show that people are open and willing to care, and maybe they'll come here and chat and be a part of a family who they might not have. So it's really meaningful that you guys participated as much as you did here. And if you didn't participate because you're not okay to share that stuff, that's okay too. Thank you for listening and being involved in that way. Your participation, no matter how you participated, is really helpful. So yeah, if there's anything that you ever want to share, whether it's public or private, please do. We are always happy to talk, communicate, help in any way that we can.
And just I appreciate Big letting me do this, and I appreciate you guys going through 2 nights of me actually just basically standing on my box and preaching a little bit. This is just a huge topic for me because of what I've gone through in my life, and it took till July 25th of 2017 for me to start turning it around. So I'm trying to understand the best I can, and understanding is coming with knowledge. And the more knowledge I can gain, the more understanding I get. And this provided me with a lot of knowledge, and your responses gave me a lot of knowledge, and it gave me some insight into some of my own problems. So this me, and not as it was for anybody else. But I you don't know how much I appreciate you guys letting me take 2 days at a Mixcast to do this, because this was very important to me. So thank you.
Yeah, no, it really is awesome. I'm glad you guys are doing this. I love you guys in our Mixer family. Says Dr. Rage British Chair says I was very good, very helpful, and another. I'm guessing you meant to say it was very good, unless you meant I was very good, but that's cool too. Uh, it was very good, very helpful, and another step in loving the similarities and differences within us all. FF Roadkill says thank you for the work. It really was a great segment. I enjoyed this segment of Mixcast a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Just a couple bits of information. There is my regular stream tomorrow, Sub Sunday. However, no Mixcast for the next 5 days, and then possibly the Monday after that. I will be at PAX South for the next week, from Monday to Monday. I don't know what time I get back Monday, the next Monday. If I get back early enough, we will do a Mixcast. I'm not gonna, not do an hour segment of Mixcast, even if it has to be short. Just because I traveled. I'm happy to jump back on. Plus, I'll miss you guys a lot. So, so stay tuned.
And if we do, the subject's going to be PAX South, by the way.
It'll be PAX South. It really will be. All of you know that. So yeah, and maybe we'll do a Mixcast giveaway provided by me specifically because I'll bring something back for Mixcast. So, But yeah.
And you gave, right?
Sorry?
You gave Muffin your stream key, right?
No.
Well, how the hell are me and Muffin going to do the show next week?
I didn't think that was actually serious.
We're joking.
Okay. I thought this was actually legit. I was like, no one ever came to me in private about this.
Oh, did you see his face?
I was like, no one actually did this.
Somebody's going to clip that.
Oh my god. You sounded so serious. Oh my god.
Point. Bad frog.
So yeah.
No shit.
We will be back with Mixcast as early as Monday the 21st. However, it might be Tuesday the 22nd. In the meantime, if you want to join the Discord and pay attention to PAX South news, I will be constantly posting on there. You might catch some IRL streams, so if you enjoyed learning a little bit of PAX South here on Mixcast, there will be IRL streams from PAX South. Am I streaming tomorrow? Yep. And let's see. I think
I got a request.
What's up?
Do you have a Discord channel that's for PAX South?
We will be making one. I haven't made one yet.
I was gonna say, if you could make one, and anybody that's going or not going, I don't care if they're watching some live stuff. If anybody will put their thoughts and opinions and
there is one.
Whatever else in that channel, and I will kind of read through that stuff. That way I can intelligently discuss something about it. So it would be massively important to me. Thank you.
Yep. And yeah, we're going to put a bunch of pictures and stuff in there. So yeah, if you enjoyed the PAX South segment or you're excited for PAX South in general, whether you're there or not, please pay attention to Discord. We will put there a lot of information for you. In the meantime, if you have any ideas for Mixcast, please put them in the Mixcast channel on Discord. Feel free to follow me or Bad Frog on Twitter. And thank you for supporting Mixcast. Remember that the code of the day today is I'm dead. Oh no, I send all the prizes after the show. So the code of the day is I'm dead. Type exclamation point Mixcast in the chat. Get yourself some extra bonus points for winning a year of Xbox Live for free. We hope one of you regulars win it. And I think that's gonna do it for today. Any last notes, Bad Frog?
No, I can't say enough at how happy I am that I found this community, and it gives me a place to express myself. And even though I go too far and I know it, I'm still allowed to come back. So I'm always thankful. So that's what I got to say. But you going to be doing the Discord thing tonight?
Like chilling in the channel? I'll be chilling in Discord voice. Probably right after the stream for a little bit, and then I gotta go talk to a roommate and then come back and, hand out prizes and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll be there right after Mixcast, and then I'll be gone for, who knows, 10 minutes to half an hour. Just gotta discuss some stuff. And then, yeah, I'll probably be here until Cassie gets off of her stream. So
if anybody wants to come hang and shoot the jet and do that, listen to Big Type, which is always exciting.
I type a lot.
He types a lot. I'll probably be there too, so come hang out with us and
come chill.
Say ugly things to me tomorrow.
Come chill. All right, you guys were fantastic. We'll see you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your night.
See ya.
Bye, guys.